Kia ora everyone! I have been receiving lots of messages regarding teaching registration and process. Messages from TikTok, Instagram, and even Messenger. The volume of inquiries and questions made me realize that I should be making vlogs to help other teachers in their New Zealand application process. By the way, my name's 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗽𝗶, a Bahalana small YouTuber and a vlogger. I am a licensed professional teacher in the Philippines and a registered New Zealand teacher as well. I have been in the teaching profession for more than 8 years and I teach secondary, primary, tertiary, and even ECE. Not to mention, I also do online teaching for more than 2 years, both primary and secondary. I teach English and maths, but I don't mind teaching any other subjects too. For these reasons, I make random vlogs about my life, travels, and most importantly, contents about teaching. Today, allow me to feature videos of my travels here in New Zealand while answering frequently asked questions raised by our fellow teachers. These questions are asked by our fellow teachers who are also my followers from Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Disclaimer, the videos shown are not related to teaching. I just don't have enough time to film myself while vlogging, so I use these videos instead. Also, if you're planning to teach here, these videos will give you a gist on what to expect living in this beautiful country. Without much ado, let's start answering all frequently asked questions by our fellow teachers. Question number 1. How to become a teacher in New Zealand? In order to become a registered teacher with a practicing certificate, you need to make sure that you got a level 7 in the NCQA assessment stating that your initial teaching education is comparable to the New Zealand curriculum. Also, you need to meet the New Zealand's teaching requirements so you can proceed to the next step. Let me walk you through the steps on how I got my teaching registration and practicing certificate. First, you have to create an NZQA account. In creating an account, you need to prepare the following documents: passport, at least 2 valid government IDs such as driver's license and PRC license. Once you successfully created your account, that is the time that I have to congratulate you, since you may now proceed to the second step, which is the qualifications assessment. NZQA, or the New Zealand Qualifications Authority, will assess all your documents to check if your initial teaching education is comparable to the New Zealand curriculum. For this reason, you have to prepare the following documents: transcript of records or your TOR, diploma, certificate of name change if applicable, PRC license, board certificate and rating. And if you have a master's degree qualification, you have the option to have it assessed. You will be filling out an editable form in this tab. Just type and answer what is asked until you reach the last part, which is the payment. Yes, you will pay $445 for standard IQA and a teaching assessment add-on of 301 New Zealand dollars for a total of 746, or more or less 24 to 27,000 in Philippine peso. Once done with the payment, all you need to do is sit and wait for the result. Take note, you need to have a bachelor's degree level 7 and should meet the teaching requirement so you can proceed to the next step. If ever you got level 6 and still wanted to proceed to the next step, your option is the discretionary pathway. However, this pathway will suck the blood out of you. The requirements from the teaching council will double and you have to sell yourself to them to prove that you are qualified to teach. This is a longer process based on what I know and based from the teachers I have spoke to. Now, if you got level 7 and they stated that you meet the teaching requirements, congratulations! You are now able to proceed to the next step, which is the hardest step, the teaching registration. Please set your expectations that this is the most challenging step of all. The first thing that you need to do is take an English proficiency test, IELTS or PTE. In my case, I took both tests and luckily I passed both tests too. Yay! The required score for IELTS is band of 7 across all skills, while 65 all skills in PTE. You need to do your best if you want a faster teaching registration result. In my case, my goal was always take 1, since I don't want to sit in and pay again. Yes, you will pay for the exam. I took my IELTS in the Philippines and it was 12,000 in Philippine peso way back then, while PTE in New Zealand around 410 New Zealand dollars, roughly 12 to 13,000 in Philippine peso. And luckily, with prayers and petitions and also hope and big faith in myself, I got my desired scores in one take. Once you passed your English proficiency test, get ready to prepare the following documents. I suggest you get a pen and paper to list down all these documents, or you may pause and take a screenshot. National Bureau of Investigation Certificate or Clearance, or your NBI, PRC ID, PRC Good Standing, PRC Rating, Passport, Diploma, IQA or NZQA results stating that you got level 7 and meets the teaching requirements, certified true copies of your transcript of records for your bachelor's degree, IELTS and PTE results, curriculum vitae or your CV, and if you are currently connected at a Department of Education, your IPCRF, service record, practicum certificate, proof of identity form. This form is downloadable online. Please see the Teaching Council website, list of trainings and seminars, teacher induction, class observations, classroom tools, recommendation letters from your employers. Take note, all these requirements should be notarized for authentication. In my case, my documents are verified by 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗃, also by the DFA. It's apostilled since I was also destined to teach in China, and the documents required are almost the same as the Teaching Council requirements. But my visa got approved earlier than my visa in China, so I have to turn down the offer and use the documents for the teaching registration instead. I'm just so lucky. New Zealand is super strict when it comes to documents. That is why have it verified and authenticated prior to your submission. Once you completed all the documents, the last step is another payment, which is 516 New Zealand dollars, roughly 17,000 in peso. The waiting time is approximately 2 to 3 weeks in my case, but it all depends on your case officer. You have to follow the steps to avoid delays. I also made a detailed mini vlog about this, and this can be viewed in my TikTok account. Question number 2. How to become an ECE teacher if you are a secondary teacher as assessed by NZQA. Disclaimer, the information that I'm going to share to you is based on my own experience as a teacher here in New Zealand. For those who already followed me for a long time, you know that my bachelor's degree is Bachelor in Secondary Education, major in English, which means to say that here in New Zealand, I am only allowed to teach in secondary or primary because my teaching registration is only for secondary. Your NZQA assessment is the basis to which sector you're allowed to teach. This is case-to-case basis. In New Zealand, they assess your qualifications and teaching experience. Prior to granting your practicing certificate, they make sure you have sufficient teaching experience that matches your teaching qualifications. To think that my bachelor's degree is secondary, major in English, but I have secondary, primary, and ECE experience, that is why I used my skills in proving my employer that I am qualified to teach in ECE even if my degree is not early childhood education. But since the government of New Zealand has their own rules when it comes to funding teachers, I need to study graduate of diploma in teaching ECE so that they can use me for funding. Just keep on sending your applications to random employers around New Zealand and never ever give up, because that's what I did. Remember, rejections can be sometimes redirections. Don't mind if some employers will email you back saying, unfortunately, you're not accepted. Unfortunately, we can't hire you because you're not accepted because the position has been filled. Just believe that out of 100 applications a day, there should be one employer who will be interested in you. Be positive and keep on manifesting positive things. But just remember that if you are a secondary registered teacher, you should be teaching in the secondary sector. Unless if you have ECE and primary teaching experience like me, there is a 90% chance that from secondary teacher registration, you can leap to ECE. It's not possible to teach ECE if your teaching registration is secondary if you don't have any primary or ECE teaching experience. Or you can change your plans. Why not study ECE here in New Zealand? It's very possible. After you got your teaching diploma in ECE, automatically you are registered to teach ECE. And teaching in early childhood is really in demand here in New Zealand. In fact, there are lots of teaching opportunities for ECE here in New Zealand, I tell you. So if you study ECE here in New Zealand after getting your diploma, I'm pretty sure that you can land a job automatically because there are lots of teaching opportunities for ECE teachers here in New Zealand. I am a secondary registered teacher, but I teach ECE because of my teaching experience. My employer considers that. I am also studying to get my ECE teaching diploma. Your interview will be your biggest battle, so please please make sure to do your best. Once you got your employer's trust and once you are able to prove to your employer that you are qualified to teach in ECE, regardless of your secondary registration, get ready to say hi or kia ora here in New Zealand. Question number 3. How much is the salary for teachers in New Zealand? It varies and it also depends on which region are you in. Secondary and primary teachers starts at 29.66 to 35 New Zealand dollars per hour and 26 to 30 New Zealand dollars per hour for ECE. But you will be paid higher as you step up each year. If your teaching experience is from overseas, you need to undergo salary assessment. Your employer will verify all your original documents that includes your service record, and once it's approved, you will be given the right salary according to the New Zealand pay scale. For experienced teachers, it's usually 90,000 New Zealand dollars or more per year. For beginning teachers, the pay is usually more or less 52,000 New Zealand dollars per year. Question number 4. Which region do you think offers the best opportunities for teachers, and how about the cost of living? Big cities like Auckland and Wellington are hiring teachers from overseas, which means to say that those in the Northland or North Island offers massive opportunities for teachers compared to the Southland. In my case, teaching job opportunities, especially for secondary, is very limited since I live in Christchurch. I also know that the pay is higher in the Northland compared to the Southland because the cost of living in Northland is more expensive than in the Southland. So take note that the bills here includes your apartment or flat, which is paid weekly, and it will cost you an arm and a leg. I should say your lifestyle really matters. Whether you are in the north or south, if you live above your means, you'll end up working here for nothing. Question number 5. What are the benefits of teaching in New Zealand? I actually uploaded lots of videos about this question in my TikTok, but for the benefits of those who did not follow me yet, so I'm going to answer this question once again. The best benefit is the residency after 2 years, of course. You will get more government benefits if you are a New Zealand resident to begin with. You may also bring your dependents. Isn't it exciting? Another best benefit is the workload. Teaching here is not that stressful. You will have more time for yourself, not to mention meetings and overtimes are paid. Another best benefit is the opportunity to travel. We all know that New Zealand is one of the best countries in the world and it is perfect for traveling. For a travel person like me, it gives me a huge advantage. If you wanted to create your own family, then New Zealand is the best choice. You don't need to stress yourself if you wanted to get pregnant because healthcare and hospitalization here is free. Education for your dependents is also free. In New Zealand, work and life balance is really admirable. The country itself is very clean. In my experience, people are very wonderful and you will be paid hourly. You can save money if your lifestyle is not that lavish. Question number 6. Do you have an agency and where to apply? No agency, pure DIY process. You can search all vacancies at the Education Gazette, Seek, Jora, and Indeed. These are legitimate websites and you can find employers who can sponsor your visa. Part 2 for the frequently asked questions will be answered in my next vlog. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Once again, this is 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗃, your Filipino registered teacher in New Zealand.